watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Good afternoon and welcome to Live at 4. We're starting with team coverage of today's winter storm. Chief
Meteorologist Alex Harrington tracking alert day conditions, and we have a crew out on live drive showing us in real time how that weather is impacting the roads. Tanisha Shaw will bring us that coverage later in the show. But
let's start with Alex, who has our first warn forecast. It's looking a little Christmassy out there, Alex.
Yes, it sure is. And in fact, I think the snow will stick around through Christmas in the rest of the forecast. But out here in the patio, I want to give you a glimpse of how much snow we've actually had. It's pretty unobstructed out here, so we get a good opportunity to get a good measurement. We had 2 inches earlier, and now we're up to about, I'd say 2 3/4 to about 3 inches out here in the patio as we speak right now. And we do have more snow in the forecast for the rest of this evening. Let's take a peek at what's on radar 3000. This would line up not as snowing as terribly hard out here as it was earlier, because southwestern parts of Madison right now, we're right on the edge of that heavier band that stretches from Cross Plains over towards Cottage Grove. Light snow to moderate snow at times is widespread across all of southern Wisconsin. A little bit of a break to the northwest, but that will fill back in. And areas to the far southwest, south and west of Platteville, I mentioned you may not get much in the way of snowfall. And future track showing the continuation of these bands, these periods of on and off light to moderate snow through the remainder of the evening, and the winds will pick up as well. Overall total still expecting 2 to 6 inches, although there will be some areas that get higher amounts north of Madison, greater than 6 inches, with the impacts lasting into early Friday. We have winter weather advisories in effect until 3 a.m. Friday morning for southwestern Wisconsin, ending at 6 a.m. here in Madison and closer to noon over towards the Milwaukee area. Our live Madison Skycam here, part of our First Warn WeatherCam network, showing reduced visibilities downtown Madison, and we will continue to see reduced visibilities on and off tonight as we plan the rest of our evening. On and off snow continuing through 10 o'clock. Coming up in just a little bit, I will let you know how much additional snow we can expect across southern Wisconsin.
Alex, thank you. Let's get a look at those road conditions, how all this snow is impacting that. Our Tanisha Shaw is out on the live drive.
Yeah, Tanisha, how are the roads looking right now?
Hi, Braden and Brady. I'm going to let you get a look at the roads. I'm on the Beltline right now, and I'm going east. Here's a look. As you can see, the Beltline is pretty slippery, but I have seen worse, honestly, in my life. And the roads aren't too bumpy. I would say it's pretty clean considering all the snow that has been falling throughout the morning. Compared to the streets, the Beltline is way better. And today I spent the morning at Hilldale Mall, where shoppers were in this condition, were in the snow while the snow was falling, shopping. They said it wasn't really stopping them. And when I spoke to Hilldale's marketing manager, she said the snow really doesn't impact holiday shopping in Wisconsin.
Honestly, it doesn't feel like the snow's keeping people away. I mean, we see people with hands full of shopping bags, rolls of wrapping paper, and the like. So it doesn't seem to be slowing people down. It's close to the holiday. It doesn't stop people this time any year. I think, sometimes you can't get your online purchases in time, and you just want to experience the shopping in person and the hustle and bustle and the magical that is the snow.
And I'm very festive myself, so I know holiday shopping is very important. But remember, when holiday shopping in weather like this, to be careful, take your time, and give a lot of space on the roads. Reporting in Madison, Tanisha Shaw, News 3 Now.
Tanisha, thank you. Yeah, a lot of holiday shopping to be done, even with the snow.
Even with the snow, it puts you in the spirit. But like Tanisha said, be careful.
But be careful, because those roads are definitely slick, and that is having an impact on traffic. Earlier today, a 55-year-old man died after a head-on crash on a snow-covered road in the town of Springfield. The crash was reported just before 1 p.m. along Highway 19 at Barman Road. The man crashed into a 51-year-old woman who was taken to a hospital with serious injuries. Officials say Highway 19 will remain closed between Lodi Springfield Road and Coon Road while they continue investigating.
We're learning more about the victims of Monday's shooting at Abundant Life Christian School. And yesterday we found out 14-year-old Ruby Patricia Vergara was the student killed. Her obituary is up on channel3000.com, and her funeral is on Saturday. And we also learned the teacher killed was 42-year-old Erin Michelle West. Today, Gunderson and Cremation Care released her obituary. In it, we learned West worked at ALCS for 4 years and was a member of Doxa Church in Madison. Her funeral will be held there Monday afternoon.
Now, we also know a 20-year-old man from California was in contact with that 15-year-old shooter before she carried out her attack. FBI agents say he'd been messaging her about attacking a government building with a gun and explosives.
Under California's red flag law, a judge has required the man to turn his weapons over to police. Joining us now with more on red flag laws, political reporter Will Keneally.
When we look at the differences between Wisconsin over here, California over there, what every town for gun safety calls a foundational gun safety law, California has it, but Wisconsin doesn't. It's these red flag laws or extreme risk protection laws. Now, that's what California officials use to remove guns from that suspect. Now, these laws vary depending on state, but generally they allow somebody, in this recent Wisconsin instance, it was a law enforcement officer or somebody in the household, to petition a judge to remove guns from a gun owner. Now, they have to show that they are substantially likely to injure themselves or others. If they can show that, a judge can issue what's called an ex parte motion, meaning that the gun owner doesn't have to be present when the judge issues that order, but they do have to set a later hearing in that kind of due process under the constitutional protections of the Second Amendment there. Now, this actually was a bill introduced back in 2013 here in Wisconsin, but it did not get a hearing.
Thank you, Will.
Now, joining us now to talk about Wisconsin's gun and safe storage laws, clinical associate professor at UW's Law School, John Gross. Thanks for being with us, John.
I'm happy to be here.
So, as Will was saying there, we've seen the introduction of some of these red flag laws looking to take away guns from people who pose a danger to themselves or others, but we don't actually have one here. How effective are these laws if we were to have one in Wisconsin?
These laws have been shown to be fairly effective especially in dealing with people who have a mental health crisis. A lot of people wind up committing suicide by using a firearm that's already in their home. So these laws are ways to actually increase public safety and reduce the risk of suicides.
And so what kind of laws do we have in our state regarding what access minors can have to guns then?
So we do have one statute. We have one statute that basically criminalizes recklessly leaving a gun in a location where somebody who is 13 or younger could get a hold of that gun. Beyond that statute, we don't have any regulation in Wisconsin regarding how one should safely store firearms in the home.
Obviously, there's no regulations about this legally, but in terms of, if people are watching and they want to be safe with their firearms in their home, is there anything that you would recommend that they do in terms of storage?
Absolutely. And the law actually makes some suggestions about this. It's considered to be reasonable if you store the gun in the home in a locked box, if you store the gun with a trigger guard. And we saw laws passed like this in Michigan following the unfortunate school shooting that they had, that tragic shooting as well. The legislature responded by requiring gun owners to take additional precautions. So lock boxes, trigger guards, or trigger locks are all great ways to keep firearms safe in the home.
And statistics show the leading cause of deaths for American children are guns. And so beyond the lock boxes, the trigger guards, what can parents do to have some safeguards to protect kids? And I'm even thinking about gun classes for some kids if they're going out hunting.
Yeah, and Wisconsin really encourages this. Our DNR offers classes on gun safety and hunting. You can take those classes even when you, I think, when you're 13 or 14 years old. You can begin taking those classes. And I think certainly if people are going to be responsible gun owners and have guns in a home where they have small children, they should have those conversations with the children about never playing with firearms, that these aren't toys, and they should take whatever precautions they can to make sure that these firearms are not accessible to the kids in the house.
John, thanks so much for being with us today.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Well, next on Live at 4, lawmakers are scrambling with one day left to fund the government before a shutdown.
Plus, alleged United Healthcare's killer, Luigi Mangione, could face the death penalty. Welcome back. Technology is ever evolving and our kids are fully invested.
They sure are. And if you're a parent out there, you may need to stay on your toes. Jalen Banks joins us now with a story he's been working on for quite some time. So what do you have for us, Jalen?
So what I have is, well, earlier this summer we had launched our Time for Kids digital playbook, and it is a guide that helps families navigate the digital world. So that's what I'm deep diving in this evening.
So how do families go about balancing the technology, the digital world? There's a lot to keep track of.
It's a tall order.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say the biggest thing is communication between child, family, or children and family. It's not a one-size-fits-all. So coming up with that plan for you and your family, I would say, is the biggest way to go about it.
And you've talked to a lot of families throughout this. What kind of feedback have you been hearing from them about this?
One of the biggest things that I've noticed when talking to families is there's so much out there. Social media, video games is growing. They don't know a ton about it. And so it's finding time to educate. And the funny thing about it is a lot of the education in those conversations comes from sitting down with your kid.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what is Roblox? What is Snapchat? What is this video game that you're playing? So that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed, which has been pretty cool to see.
I have a niece and nephew. I don't envy my sister for having to keep track of them and all their social media. They're teenagers now.
Yeah.
But what are you hoping families get from that story then?
One of the biggest things that I hope that they get from it is, are there drawbacks to technology? Absolutely. But there can be good things that come from it as well. And it's not as if technology is necessarily going anywhere. So finding a way to embrace it while also making sure that there are some guardrails for you and your family.
It's the future. I mean, I think we use it every day. It's like we got to set up our kids to...
Fully integrated. Kids, they have like MacBooks in school these days, you name it. So again, it's not necessarily going anywhere. Hoping to just give families some tips moving forward.
Absolutely.
My nephew's taking cursive classes, by the way.
Oh,
really?
And like
Great.
that's a thing
In
now
2024.
because they use like their tablets for everything. So now this is like a throwback.
I love it.
All right, so when can people watch this digital playbook and how can they access it?
So as far as the digital playbook itself, you can find this on our website at channel3000.com/time4kids. But as far as the story tonight, the preview will air at 5 p.m. during News 2 Now at 5, and then the full version airs at News 2 Now at 6.
All right,
Thank you,
we will
Jalen.
see you at 6.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Well, speaking of technology, it might be a good time to have our weather app to keep track of all this weather, but Alex will do that for you right now.
I can take over for a little bit here. Alert day conditions still expected through early Friday. I'm going to show you additional snow accumulations that I anticipate yet tonight. Overall amounts 2 to 6 inches, with the highest amounts 6 inches, Madison areas to the north. And of course, we will continue to experience travel impacts. I want to take us here through our first warned weather cam. Pictures across southern Wisconsin. We're building our network of sky cams to show you the weather. Snowing in Platteville, although they've had significantly less snow down near Platteville compared to Dodgeville, where we see very low visibilities here in downtown Dodgeville at this point in time. And in Madison, improved visibility is just a little bit here, as we will continue to see on and off periods of light to moderate snow throughout our evening tonight. Temperature staying steady in the upper 20s to right around 30 degrees. Right now, radar 3000 showing heaviest snow north and east of Madison, a little bit of a heavier band stretching through that Dodgeville area over towards Monroe and just south Janesville. One of those heavier bursts is actually right up 151 right now near Beaver Dam. Sliding back here to Dane County, we have really sandwiched snow to the south near Belleville, and then snow to the north up towards DeForest and Wanakee. We have winter weather advisories through Friday morning for a good portion of southern Wisconsin, winter storm warnings to the north in Juneau and Adams counties. Total snow accumulations, let's say Richland Center, Spring Green, Madison over towards Jefferson, 3 to 6 inches, some places closer to that 5 to 6 inch amount, north of 6 inches, so a little bit more to the north up towards Juneau, Adams, Marquette, and Green Lake counties, and less off towards the south and towards the west, towards the Platteville area. Here's what I'm expecting for additional snow accumulations. Maybe another inch or two far southwest, 2 to 3 inches between now and 6 o'clock Friday morning in Madison, 3 to 4 north and east of Madison, north and east of that I-94 corridor. Once we get through tomorrow morning, cold weekend ahead, some more snow for Monday. So that's good news for those that want a white Christmas, because we're going to warm up at Christmas time and get rain showers back in the forecast. Real quick here, scan that QR code. We want to see those snow pictures. Thanks, Rich from Arena, showing us about 4 inches as of mid this afternoon, and a snowscape scene in Reedsburg from Amy. And scan that QR code upper left there, just like Sherry did, so we can show your snow pictures live on air.
Thank you, Alex. The suspect in the death of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson could face the death penalty if he's found guilty. Luigi Mangione is now facing 4 federal charges, including murder and stalking. That's in addition to the New York State indictment for murder as an act of terrorism. The 26-year-old arrived in New York earlier today for his federal court hearing. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office says the New York State case against Mangione will proceed at the same time as the federal case.
President-elect Donald Trump says there is success coming up with a new plan to fund the government. The deal came after a grueling closed-door talks and a day Trump upended the initial agreement, saying House Speaker Mike Johnson included too many concessions for Democrats. The new plan would keep government running for 3 more months, add disaster assistance for hurricane-hit states and others, and allow more borrowing through January 30th of 2027.
Well, still ahead, do you ever wonder what goes into making your favorite holiday desserts at your local restaurants?
I do, and I am excited to get a look inside the kitchen at Harvey House to show you this steamed pudding and how you can enjoy it this New Year's Eve. Welcome back. Well, it's that time of year when you just want to splurge, eat something good.
Yeah. We don't have anything right now.
I know.
Where are our treats?
You didn't bring anything back from the Harvey House?
Why would I? I ate all that. Anyway, the owners of the Harvey House invited me over to show me a dessert that you can find there this holiday season and an upcoming event to help you say hello to 2025. Well, Chef Joe, good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Yeah, happy holidays.
Happy holidays, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well. This is called a steamed persimmons pudding.
We wanted to do, like, you know, in the holiday spirit, a classic steamed pudding, which is a cake, but we steam it, and it has that soft, like, texture consistency from the fuyu persimmon, which is the others, like the cousin of the haicea, and we take that fruit and we let it get super ripe, and then we use the puree from that to make the steamed pudding. The focus is going to be on persimmon, and we have two different types of persimmon. We have the haicea persimmon and the fuyu persimmon. And then what we do is we take the haicea persimmon, which you can't really eat right away. It needs to be completely ripe. It needs to be super, super soft, or it will suck the moisture out of your mouth because it's so tannic of a fruit.
So it has to look like this pretty much?
So it can be either two ways. This can turn to a pudding-like consistency. See how they're still a little firm? This needs to be completely like mush. And then you can enjoy it and eat it as is. Or you can do what we do, and it's called hojigaki in Japanese, where we peel the outer layers of the haicea, and then we hang them up above. And as they start to progressively dry, we gently massage them into this flat shape to get all of the pulp that's on the inside working around, massaged and drying evenly. And it turns itself into its own like dried candied fruit.
And so this is a tradition that you do in your own home, and it's kind of a good way to get ready for the holidays, and then you have something tasty.
I mean, yeah,
on.
totally. So we took like little pieces of shavings, basically, of the fuyu persimmon, and we just gave it a quick little dredge in some sweet syrup. So we'll put this raw shaved beautiful fuyu persimmon all the way around, layering the steamed pudding, which is warm.
And since this is a tradition in your house with your family, is this something people can do with their kids? It seems like a good hands-on decorating dessert.
100%. You can get haicea persimmons from the grocery store and find a place in your home where you can hang them without kids ripping them off the ceiling or whatever, and display them. It's just such a beautiful thing. A little vanilla ice cream.
Okay.
Which is in my trusty freezer, hidden behind here, and
Who doesn't love that?
And put that right on top. And then this is a caramel that we made with also fuyu persimmon puree. So you make a deep, rich caramel. We deglaze it with a little dark rum and the puree that came from the fuyu persimmon, and then we finish it with a little bit of cream and a little bit of butter. And then this will just drizzle right over the top of all this ice cream, all this raw persimmon, the warm steam pudding. Our last move for the dessert will be to utilize all this nice little candied, dried, beautiful haicea persimmon that is.
And so that came from up here, you sliced it up.
Sliced it up, and we'll just decorate it all over. So we're gonna run this dessert for our New Year's Eve menu.
Okay. How exciting is that? I mean, it seems like you do a big to-do every year.
Yeah, it's always fun. Shayna will decorate the whole place up. We'll have balloons, we'll have some nice music, and we'll do something. We'll step a little bit outside of the box of Everyday Supper Club, and we'll get another menu put together that people can enjoy.
Very good. Well, I will show this to everyone at home. You can find this at the Harvey House on New Year's Eve. And yeah, that's a wrap. Persimmon's more like persmitten. That's how good it was. Anyway.
I will say my mouth is watering.
Yeah.
That looked insane.
We have the owners of the Harvey House here, Shayna Robbins-Papich and Chef Joe Papich. Thanks for being on with us.
Thanks so much for having us.
How exciting is this New Year's Eve event that you're having?
I mean, we love having people for New Year's. We love celebrating the new things that can happen in a new year with people.
Yeah. And I know that the Harvey House, it's kind of like a supper club with a twist, and a lot of us think about going to those during the holidays with family. Do you love giving that kind of holiday nostalgia there too?
Absolutely. I think people feel comfortable and comforted and have that extra drink and have that extra appetizer and really enjoy themselves.
Yeah.
Can we get a sneak peek of the menu? What can we expect on New Year's Eve?
Well, you already saw the dessert, so we got that one out of the way, but we're gonna do, still sticking within the classics, steak tartare. We'll have some walleye on the menu, of course.
There's a Waldorf salad.
There's a Waldorf salad.
The persimmon pudding, of course.
Yeah, and then some ribeye.
Very good.
Oh, you're speaking my language. This is great. Want to go?
Yeah,
After Japan.
After Japan. New Year's Eve is set. We'll be there. Before we wrap up, can you tell people how they can find out more about this event and how they can come enjoy your food?
Absolutely. You can find more about our event or the New Year's celebration on our website, on our Instagram, or right on Resi, which is the reservation platform that we use.
A very Harvey New Year, right?
A very Harvey New Year.
That's a good one.
Thanks for being on with us. And
Thank you for having us.
anytime you want us to come in the kitchen and learn
Oh,
something.
next time, can I go, please?
You're welcome
I'm coming
anytime.
next time.
Or both of you, whatever.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
We'll
of
be
course.
right back.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Of course, we want everyone to be safe out on the roads, but let's appreciate how pretty this is.
Oh, I am so excited for a white Christmas. I hope that it sticks
Yeah.
around long enough for it to still be a white Christmas, but this is beautiful.
Yeah,
I must
Alex,
say.
is she going to get her white Christmas?
I think you're going to get your white Christmas. It's not going to be, well, it's going to be just like the movie White Christmas. They got snow at the end of that movie, and we're getting our snow at the end of our movie as we approach the Christmas holiday. It's snowing out here right now on the patio very lightly. Alert day conditions will continue into early Friday. Still think 2 inches far southwest Wisconsin, 6 or more inches north of Madison covers the range of snow that we're seeing across southern Wisconsin. I know some folks on social media are saying 2 inches. We've got way more than that. You have to take into account that there are parts of southern Wisconsin that are not getting a lot of snow out of this weather system, which we've been mentioning that there would be some areas that would miss out or see significantly less, and that's down towards Platteville, over towards Monroe and Janesville. Those folks, 1, 2, maybe 3 inches of snow through the rest of tonight, 2 to 3 inches in the Madison area. Areas north and east of Madison, Beaver Dam heading north and east towards Lake Michigan, north and east of I-94, perhaps 3, maybe an isolated 4-inch additional amount of snow as the snow continues in periods light to moderate at times overnight. Our live Queen Bee Radio Skycam here is part of our First Warn WeatherCam network showing it is snowing right now in Platteville, but again, less snow in Platteville, and the visibility is pretty reduced here on our Uplands Hill Skycam in Dodgeville, part of our First Warn weather cam in Madison. The Capitol's starting to light up, and visibility is okay here in Madison. But take note that we have all these cams, and we're adding more to be able to show you what's going on across southern Wisconsin. Not just show the radar, but actually show you that it's snowing in these locations. Here, radar 3000 showing that snow near Platteville. Lighter snow over Madison, a little heavier to the northeast up towards Beaver Dam. And we're kind of sandwiched right in the middle here at the studio with just a few flurries and light snow coming down at times. The evening hours, on and off snow, moderate at times with some reduced visibilities. Coming up in Maine weather, we're going to use Future Track to show you when everything ends.
Thank you, Alex. Let's take a look at the Wisconsin Department of Transportation's winter road conditions map. The blue lines show roads partially covered with snow. The pink shows roads completely snow covered. Anything that's in green, that's okay.
Now let's check in with our Tanasia Shaw, who's showing us a live look at those road conditions.
Tanasia, where are you at and how's it going out there?
Hi, Braden and Brady. I'm going west on University Ave. Let's get a look at the roads. So you can see it's a lot going on with snow and rush hour. It's backed up. It's a lot of cars on the road right now. But as you can see, a lot of them, we're giving each other space so because of the snow. And so we avoid any collisions or anything like that. We're getting a little bit of a break from the snow. It is falling, but it's way lighter than what we had at the top of the hour and way lighter even compared to that than what we had this morning. Now I'm going to continue to be out here on the road throughout all of the shows, showing you what you need to know and how the roads are looking. I'm sending it back to you, Braden. Oh my gosh, those bees are tripping me up right now. Braden and Braden.
Same.
Well, thanks for keeping us informed about all this. And we appreciate all your hard work being out on those roads. And I know it's not easy to drive in that.
Yeah, thank you, Tanasia. Well, our community is still trying to find ways to process and heal after Monday's school shooting.
Our Meryl Hubbard went to the school to see how volunteers are stepping in to help those in need.
Here at Abundant Life, this memorial stands for the student and teacher who lost their lives in Monday's shooting. We met some volunteers here who are helping people pray for the community, family, and the lives lost. People from the school and community have been adding on candles, flowers, teddy bears, and messages for 14-year-old Ruby Patricia Vergara and 42-year-old Erin Michelle West. In addition, volunteers from local churches are there to talk to people who need the support. The Billy Graham Evangelical Rapid Response Team helps gather these volunteers and talks to the school's faculty members to help them recover from an act of gun violence.
When I got here Monday night and immediately met with the pastoral staff, and we are just so amazed by the love of the faculty, the love of the members of the congregation. This is a special community, and they're going to get through it. They're going to get through it.
Jason says he is talking with the neighboring city church as well as staff from Abundant Life. There are church services nearby, like at the neighboring city church, for anyone who needs an ear to listen to them. Reporting in Madison, Meryl Hubbard, News 3 Now.
Thank you, Meryl. The Wisconsin Department of Health Services is on alert after confirming the first human case of the bird flu in our state. The news comes shortly after the first severe case in a human was reported in California just hours earlier. California officials have declared a state emergency to better position state staff and supplies to respond to the outbreak. So far, more than 60 people have been infected, and their illnesses have been mostly mild. But experts are watching for the chance the virus spread could escalate and become a pandemic.
Right now, the bird flu is still a bird virus. It still has all the signatures that make it look like a bird virus, but we all know that influenza likes to mutate. That's why we get vaccinated every year. It mutates away from the vaccine. So this virus, once it starts getting into more mammalian species like humans, we have the concern of it trying to mutate and become more human-like than bird-like.
For now, Halfman says it is now time to monitor the virus, not to worry, as it's too soon to tell the trajectory and the outbreak could take.
Now to Wall Street, U.S. stocks rebounding after one of the worst days of this year yesterday after the Fed said it may deliver fewer rate cuts in the near future. The Dow's up 15, the NASDAQ dropped 20, and the S&P 500 is down 5. And as this first big snow of the season is rolling in, the city of Madison is giving us a few important reminders on how to keep your neighbors safe and avoid fines this winter. If you've got a sidewalk on your property, remember that you're responsible for keeping it clear of snow and ice. If you don't, you could be looking at more than $100 in fines. Plus, you could be putting your fellow Madisonians at risk. Now you've got until noon the day after the snow stops falling to make sure your sidewalk is clear. You could also face fines for oversalting. The city of Madison also has sand bins placed around the city for your use.
And when we come back, we have a preview of this week's Wisconsin Huddle.
We're taking a live
On the next Live at 4, Will Loper shows us what's new to streaming platforms this weekend in the Loper Report.
Plus, Angie Horkin shares 2 easy beef recipes you can use for the holidays that you'll come back to again and again. We are taking a live look at road conditions on US 1218 west of the Yahara River using our Firstborn Weather Cam network.
Roads look a little slushy out there.
A little slushy, a little slippery. I was out earlier today doing the live drive at noon, and yeah, go slow.
Yeah.
Go slow is what I would say.
It's one of those things where we're all kind of getting used to this driving again,
Yes.
so, be safe.
Better to be a little slow than sorry.
Well, after a 3-game losing streak, the Wisconsin Badger men's basketball team is back in the win column and looking to build off a victory in Indianapolis as they head into winter break.
Wisconsin defeated Butler on Saturday. Now they face Detroit Mercy before they get back into Big Ten play. The Badgers had big production from their 2 7-footers, Steve Crowell and Nolan Winter, as they combined for 38 points. Guard John Blackwell joins Zach Hanley on this week's episode of Wisconsin Huddle. He says the emergence of Winter on the floor will be big for the Badgers as they head into the conference play.
He's just a great teammate, and everyone knows what he has, being 7 foot, being able to shoot the ball and put it on the deck. just being versatile. It's just a matter of time till he got out of his shell and got comfortable at that 4-man spot. So I'm glad he got off and he did his thing. And then Steve, along with it, our 2 7-footers. I mean, that just adds value to our team and just helps us guards as well with our scoring and playmaking.
Wisconsin Huddle airs this Friday right after News 3 now at 6, and we have a new home for Wisconsin Huddle. Starting January 6th, we will be taping at Pooley Sports Bar and Event Center. Come out and see a live taping of Wisconsin Huddle. It'll start at 7 p.m. on Monday. That's on January 6th.
All those holiday gatherings can be stressful. What to eat, who to talk to, or who not to talk to.
Coming up, we have Dr. Zorba Pastor here to tell us all the tips that we need to make it through this holiday season.
Make it through. Well, this is a live look at I-3990 at US 51 south of Wisconsin 73.
Also slushy, also icy, slippery, probably. Just take it easy.
Especially as it gets darker.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
We are just days away from Christmas, and that probably means more drinking, eating, and family time than usual.
If you're hosting this year's holiday get-together, you'll want to make sure you have plenty of options for those you don't see on a daily basis. Here to talk about what you should remember to stock up on, Dr. Zorba Pastor.
Hello.
Hi, good to see you guys.
Yeah. So a lot of people will be having some wine, some beer, what have you, but what other options should you have for people?
Well, first of all, you've got to have non-alcoholic beer in Wisconsin. I mean, that's de rigueur. That's what we should have. There are a few few ones that are really good. They taste much better. They used to taste like, I don't know, they really taste very good. But the new stuff is good because some people do not want to drink. Hard to believe in the state of Wisconsin. I mean, I come from a family of non-drinkers. Nobody in my family ever drank because they just didn't do it. So non-alcoholic things, non-alcoholic mocktails, kind of a funny word as if cocktail is the standard, but, and as we talked about, you know, if somebody doesn't want to drink, don't push it on them.
Right, yeah. No is a complete and full sentence. So yeah, don't try to let them be, let them do. If you want to have a drink, go for it.
That's right, exactly.
Absolutely. So you've nicknamed this person Uncle Albert.
Yes, who actually was my Uncle Albert.
And no offense to the Alberts of the
right.
world, but we all have an uncle or a family member or someone that we're like, either it's a topic that we just don't go there on, or
and
just...
sometimes they really push you on it. They say, well, let me let you know what your political view is of this. And they know you have the opposite political view than they have. So I think it's important for you to really plan beforehand. And that may be who you sit next to at the table. It may be on the couch. So I'll tell you, with my Uncle Albert, I had a cousin of mine that was Uncle Albert, what turned out to be his son-in-law. And after a meal, he always used to fall asleep on the couch because my Aunt Myrtle said, he worked so hard. And one day I sat on the couch next to him and he opened up his eyes. I said, you're not asleep? He said, if you had a father-in-law like Albert, you would be on the couch. But you know, separating yourself out from that is going to make everyone happy. And you know, with family situations, I think these are important to think about before you go into the family event.
What about the food? Do you do plated, or can you have a holiday buffet?
Right. Well, you think about it before you actually go. So you don't want to eat too much because you want to eat an amount. On the other hand, everyone wants you to try their special dish. So a little bit of pre-planning with that really does make a difference, you know, thinking about what you actually want to have. And then, of course, the dish you bring may make a difference. And this is a time of celebration where you want to celebrate everyone's special dish and special time. So think about that as you're actually going down that food line, whichever way it is.
My family is Lutheran, and we would always just have our meal, but then graze later on.
Perfect.
It was just crazy.
I love it. I love it. Those turkey sandwiches or ham sandwiches the next day are so good. But I think that's a great idea. Grazing, eating, grazing, eating. And
I feel like the slower you can eat, the faster you realize when you're full, and then...
No, it really does make a difference, you know, because at the end of the day, you want to feel good. You want to feel like everyone got together and celebrated the season, because remember, this is almost the shortest day of the year. It gets longer by 3 minutes on the 23rd. Doesn't seem like a lot, but hey, 3 minutes here, 3 minutes there. Before you know it, it's summer.
That sounds good.
Absolutely. Thanks for being with us.
Pleasure. Happy holidays.
It's not summer out there right now, Alex.
Nope, nothing like that. Winter for sure outside right now in southern Wisconsin. We have winter weather advisories in effect till 3 a.m. Southwest Wisconsin, Madison until 6 o'clock, and then over towards Lake Michigan until noon on Friday. A little bit of lake effect activity coming off of Lake Michigan will enhance snowfall rates east of Madison. When we look at visibility right now, it's down to 3/4 of a mile at the airport, 3/4 of a mile out in the prairies near Mineral Point, and a half-mile visibility up towards Camp Douglas. This really shows you where the snow is coming down across southern Wisconsin. Across the entire area, radar 3000 right now showing really 2 bands of snow, one to the north and east of Madison, one just south of Madison, and we will continue to see reinforcing bands of light snow. So again, Dane County, we're sandwiched between 2 areas of heavier snow right now. One's to the north and east up towards Beaver Dam, over towards Mayville, just south and west of Interstate 41, and in between 151 and 41. The other heavier band is actually south of Madison currently right now, stretching from, let's say, Blanchardville over to Monticello, over towards Evansville along Highway 14. Down towards Janesville. And I said we would use Future Track to show you as we carry forth through the evening, we continue to see reinforcing bands of light to moderate snow going through the evening hours, and this will continue into the overnight hours as well. But I don't want you to let your guard down as well. If we have a couple of moments where it's not snowing much at all, I don't want you to think that the snow is totally turned off. We will continue to see periods of snow through the evening hours tonight, going through the early morning hours, perhaps as late as Friday morning, tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. So additional accumulations, you may be wondering, well, how much is left to get out of this weather system? Maybe another inch or 2 for the far, far southwest down towards Platteville and Dickeyville, 2, maybe 3 inches in the Madison area over towards Jefferson, maybe as far west as Spring Green and Lone Rock, and 3 to 4 inches north and east of Madison up towards Beaver Dam, heading a little bit more towards Lake Michigan, where they're going to have a little bit of that effect from Lake Michigan enhancing the snowfall. So commuting impacts right now, greatest impacts is ongoing right now through 10 p.m. That's going to continue overnight through 6 a.m. even though the snow will start to taper as we go towards the morning hours on Friday. We still will have snow-packed roads. We'll still have to clear things out as we get into the morning hours on Friday. So alert day conditions through, let's say 10 o'clock Friday morning would be a good time to end the alert day condition period as conditions improve. I got a cold weekend ahead, so this snow is going to stick around. The difference with this cold compared to last cold snaps that we've had, look at the winds. Saturday, 5 miles per hour, 8 to 15 on Sunday. So now looking at a very windy period Saturday going into Sunday, and more snow on Monday before turning mild by Christmas. We'll be right back.
New airspace restrictions will be in place in New Jersey until January 17th. The FAA announced restrictions largely aimed at limiting drone flights over power stations and infrastructure.
The restrictions require drones to fly no higher than 400 feet in the air. This as public officials have repeatedly said there is no public safety or national security threat associated with the increase in reported drone sightings in the Northeast. The public drone panic began about a month ago. We'll be right back.
Testing 1, 2. Tomorrow on Live at 4. We'll